Welcome to Scaredy Cat Rides. I am here today at Chessington World of Adventures. Should be an interesting one. There's not much here which puts the fear of God in me, but doing some rides, letting you know how I feel about the sort of scare factor, if you are somebody who's nervous, and things you can expect by going on the ride. And I've just remembered to look in the camera, so apologies for the lack of eye contact, but I'll fix it for the rest. See you in a bit. Hello, I hope you can hear me over the wonderful sound effects of the piratey area at Chessington. We just had our first ride of the day, which was Ships Ahoy. It's a really good ride to start off with if you've got kids who might be experiencing rides for the first time. Just try and move away from the speaker now that I've got it in the background, because it introduces you to some of those sensations that you get on other rides, the feeling of ups and downs, spins, all of that, but it's very gentle, very cute, very well themed. So highly recommend if you've got a little one and you're a big one and you're a bit nervous. They'll love that, and it'll be nice and easy and approachable for you. So we just come off Toon Blaster, and if I'm smiling it's because I did a pretty good score for me, probably not for the general public, but for me, 35,000, loving it. I think Toon Blaster is a really great dark ride for those kiddly winks that are starting to feel a bit adventurous. It's got some darker theming in there, but it's not really all that scary. There's a couple of moments of mummies popping out at you after the Pharaoh scene, after one of the big scene pieces anyway. But yeah, it's good fun, not too scary. Maybe the shooting might be a bit encouraging for younger kids, but it's really good fun. I think most young people will be fine with that. I think most adults who are a bit nervous around these things will be fine taking their kids on that. It's a nice, good, fun intro to dark themes. So we just come off Tiger Falls. Tiger Falls I would always recommend for people who are looking to experience one of their first log flumes. There's a little drop and a big drop. You don't get too wet. Word of caution, if you're on the front, your feet may get a little bit soaked because the water then all pools down there. But other than that, it's not that bad for a water ride, especially if you're somebody who's a bit reluctant on going on them because British weather. To be honest with you, in the scheme of water rides in the UK, it's really not that bad. The drops aren't too much. Younger kids can go on it as long as they're over the 1.2 mark. So yeah, very much recommend. We've just come off our ride on Rattlesnake, which you can see just behind me. I think Rattlesnake is such a good ride for introducing yourself to roller coasters. It's not too big, doesn't do anything too scary. You get a nice bit of whip, nice corners, although caveat being that if you are somebody who might be a bit freaked out by roughness or the sort of corners on it are the ones where you do feel slightly coming off the edge. So if you're somebody who's going to be freaked out by that, maybe don't do that as a first or second ride of the day. But I think overall it's such a good ride for building yourself up to doing roller coasters. As I say, not too high, doesn't do anything too intimidating, just whizzes you around a bit, which is exactly what you want when you're trying things out. Normally what I would recommend for a first ride of the day is Scorpion Express just behind me. Unfortunately, I think it's going to, I don't know how long it's going to be down for. The things I'm hearing online is that it's waiting for parts. I do think Chessington hopefully, really hope they do get it back up and running. It is, that style of ride is the perfect ride for young kids who are exploring coasters. It's also a perfect sort of ride for people who are nervous. And it's also like the whole family can enjoy. So I really hope they do get it back up and running. Can't think else, I have such fond memories of running round and round in it. So we have just had our ride on Vampire. Vampire is an excellent ride for families and children who are starting to grow into bigger rides. By bigger, I mean bigger than your Runaway Mine Train type thing. The height limit is reasonably low as well, which is nice, and it is quite a gentle ride. It's old, so you do get a little bit of head banging, but especially towards the front you will get a nice gentle exploration around the treetops. It looks intimidating maybe if you're a bit nervous about these things, but I think it's parent friendly as well as children friendly, so enjoy. just got off Mandrill Mayhem, made use of the good old single rider queue. So almost, apparently friend behind me wants to be in the vlog with those noises, amazing. Yes, so I've just done Mandrill Mayhem, a little bit cheeky single rider queue. Fun fact, it was actually my first time on Mandrill Mayhem, so I can now, I guess, ride with you a little bit as well. I think it's a good coaster for the demographic at Chessington. It's a nice opportunity for somebody to try an inversion for the first time if they haven't done it. And even as I was coming for queue then, you know, there's a parent saying to their kid, oh, well done, you did your first upside down, which is so lovely to see. I think the ride doesn't do too much, so for that reason it might be a good one for you if you are looking to try inverting. The only thing that makes me hesitate on that is that it is a very slow inversion. You do get a bit of hang time, which may be a little uncomfortable depending on what it is that makes you nervous. See my other vlog for more information on that. So as you can probably see, I am no longer at Chessington World of Adventures. My intention had been to film the conclusion there, and what happened was I was going to do a bit about Dragon's Fury. We planned it for the last Friday of the day, and as these things happen, we got there and it shut down, and so we thought, okay, time to go home. Got home, thought, oh, I should edit that nice lovely Chessington vlog I did, and then thought, see what I've done, see what I've forgotten. So apologies for that. But I did just want to pick up on Dragon's Fury quickly as a ride and the Scaredy Cat take on it. Fortunately, it's a ride I'm very familiar with, so I didn't need to re-familiarise myself with it to put some thoughts down on that. So Dragon's Fury, the Scaredy Cat take. My thing with Dragon's Fury is that, for me personally, if you are somebody who is a bit nervous or anxious about rides, I would probably recommend that as the last one on your itinerary for Chessington World of Adventures. The reason being is that it can be a little intense. There's some quite nice drops on it that are really good fun. But with Chessington, you've got such a family-friendly offering anyway that actually I would say there's other rides you could go to first. That's not to say that I think Dragon's Fury is unmanageable. And actually, if you're looking for a slightly more intense ride, but you don't want to do an inversion, then that should definitely be one that's on your radar because it is really, really good fun and there are no inversions. I would say the theming around it is really lovely. There's nothing too intense in there. There's some elements that off-ride might look a little bit scary, but on-ride, what can I say? Bark is worse than its bite, very much so with Dragon's Fury. The only thing with spinning coasters is that the ride experience can differ quite a bit depending on how many people you have in your car. The reason for that is that the weight balance affects how much the cart spins. So if you have an odd number, for example 3 people, you're much more likely to get a good spin, which would, of course, if you're worried about intensity of ride, create an intensive ride experience. That said, if you have a nice even number, so if you're looking definitely 4 where there's quite a bit of weight in the car, you're probably not going to get too much of a spin. So if you're worried about that level of intensity, you could always try and plan around that. But yes, I would say Dragon's Fury is a brilliant ride for starting to go on more adventurous roller coasters. But if you're building up slowly, maybe put it to the back of your list for Chessington World of Adventures because there's lots of great family-friendly offerings out there in the park. The Scaredy Cat take on Chessington World of Adventures. Now, I love this park. I think for me, this is one of the best parks we have in the UK, if not the best, in terms of it's really well run. There's lots of options of things to do. So it's suitable for such a wide variety of ages or interests. You could have a lovely day just walking around the zoo, which is great. And if you're maybe got like a little one in a pushchair who can't go on many rides, but you've got the older kids as well, the older kids can go off and have fun and you also have a great day with your kid in a pushchair. Well, I mean, kid in a pushchair, let's see. But you can still have a really good day just looking at the penguins or going to see what's in the Africa area. There's just so much to do. So I really love this park for that. I also really love it because their quality of theming is so good. They actually pay attention to it. And that's something some of the other parks, including parks in their own Merlin portfolio, could really learn from. They do such a good job. So yeah, I'm a really big fan of this park. And I'm also a really big fan of this park from the Scaredy Cat perspective, because there's so many things you can do if you push yourself, and actually if you get on I don't know, maybe rattlesnake, and that was your pushing yourself for the day, well done you. You can now go and do something really quiet to calm down after that if that's what you want to do. There's just so much option for that. But also there's ways of experiencing sensations that you might then want to try on bigger rides. For example, if the thought of having your legs dangling worries you a little bit, you can practice that on Vampire, and Vampire doesn't do too much, which is great. Likewise, if you want to try an inversion for the first time, you might want to try Mantle Mayhem because it is just the one. I have mentioned my thoughts on that as a first inversion earlier in the vlog, I think. Just in case I haven't, I'll fill in here. It is a little bit slow. There is a bit of hang time. That might put some people off. There are definitely more inversions out there if that is a sensation which worries you in particular. But if you just want to knock one out the park, so that you've done it, why not? It's perfectly good. And as you say, you do it once and then once again the other direction. So it's very, very manageable as a first inversion. So yeah, that's why I really, really rate Chessington World of Adventures for Scaredy Cats. There's so much to do. There's a really good sort of stepping up for coming out of your comfort zone. And if you decide, sod it, I'm not in the mood for a theme park, go to the zoo, you'll have a great time. What more can you want? So there we have it. That's my take and my love letter to Chessington World of Adventures. I do intend on going through each of the rides and doing a shorter version of talking through that ride experience, what you can expect, and whether I recommend them or not. So yeah, stay tuned for those. But until then, if you like this video, as always, like, comment and subscribe and do the brave things. I believe in you. You can do it. See you next time.